So welcome back to the Just Me podcast, and we are so very lucky to meet the wonderful David, or Dave Kelly. Dave Kelly, so tell us in your own words, who are you and what you do?
Yeah, well, I'm only David when I've been naughty, so it's only David. Yeah, I am naughty quite often. Yeah, so I'm the founder and CEO of Daisy Inclusive UK. It's a disability-led charity that helps disabled people and their families reach their true potential. And it all started many years ago, 30 years ago. I'd like to say when I was about 3, but I wasn't. I was 30 when I lost my sight. And and then it came to me in a bizarre dream, and it sounds like a crazy man talking, but that's exactly what happened, and that's without any chemicals or alcohol usage. A proper dream, so that's and I lived a dream, man. I lived a dream. Yeah,
Wow. So what age were you when you lost your sight?
30. Yeah,
30.
I was 30.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, so I've had half my life sighted Dave and half my life blind Dave, and I'll be honest with you, the last 27 years
Wow.
as blind Dave has been amazing, immense, and productive, and I'm a happy blind man. Yeah, with a
Wow.
vision.
And in terms of so where did life begin with you? Kind of,
At birth.
but
It was well, the story is, and it's I was born at a very young age. Said, uh, but when I was 17, Mrs. Thatcher had just took power,
Right.
1981, and left school, and I had no qualifications whatsoever. But there was like
Wow.
today with the apprenticeship schemes, I was put on a youth opportunity scheme. I wanted to be a plasterer. So through Old One Boys Club, I got given this youth opportunity job for 12 months, plastering, and we got sent to the Royal Wavertree School for the Blind.
Wow.
Ironically, this is before I knew anything about blindness and what was going to happen to me.
Wow.
And while I was there, there used to be kids playing footy, coming out at dinner hour. We were blind with the ball with the belly, and we used to join in with them, and we got to know them a little bit, and we cracker, young people used to fall over, running towards, but they never cried. I was like, wow, I'd be crying my eyes out of a band like that. And anyway, while I was there, I just went for an eye check up, to get a bit of glasses for reading.
Mm.
Nothing to it really. I just went there. And while I was in there, they checked my eyes, they looked through, and they looked through again, and he said, do you want to be colleague guys a look? I said, why? What have you found behind me? I said, gold or something. And he said, no. And I had a look. And anyway, he spotted something. And I got, he said, well, we need to take this lesson to the doctors and all that. I was 17, said, and I said,
Wow.
of course I will, yeah. Went outside and lifted up. So, because invincible, that age, 17. And so, as well, I was there, basically, about a week later, I let her come to the house. So that optician must have known I wasn't going to take her to the doctors, and he sent one anyway. And all the family had to go to St. Paul's Eye Hospital for a checkup, because they found
Yeah.
something. So there was me, 4 brothers, my mum and my dad. We all went down to St. Paul's Eye Hospital, and that was the start of the journey. We were all electrodes and doing range tests and everything. We did about 8 hours. It was like, wow. And at the end of that, the day, we're all sitting there, a bit tired and bored, and the specialist comes out of his door and he says to me, mum and dad, I'm awful sorry. Your son will be blind by the time he's 30.
Wow.
I was crying. My dad took me mum. Even the specialist had a tear in his eyes. Took me mum. I said, "Hold on, that's me. I'm going to be blind by the time I'm 30, and when I was 17, I still can't work that out so long." But anyway, I'm hugging them all and thinking, "Oh wow, what's going to happen there?" So anyway, that was the first pebble in the pool of life, and the ripples, far reaching, and basically, we never talked about eye conditions or me going blind, because that's what families were in those days. They were scared to get you upset me. I was a bit scared to get I upset them. And anyway, but funny thing was, the next day I had to go back to the Royal Wavertree School for the Blind. Only this time I'm
Wow.
looking and talking to the kids with a different set of eyes.
Wow.
I was thinking, lads, and I was asking them questions. I said, well, what's it like being blind? I said, oh, it's okay, Dave. I said, what do you see? I see colours and rainbows.
Oh, wow.
And the teacher said, no, Dave, you see nothing. Oh. So, that was like trying to deal with that as a young 17-year-old. You're going to go blind. Wow. I was like,
Yeah, that's
what do we do?
huge.
Well, do you know what? I tried to put it to the back of me. That's how I go, and I'll just carry on and use a smile and a joke and a twinkle in my eye, and I just carried on with life really, and never really wanted to think about it because I was able to put it to the back of my mind. Anyway, so I ended up, I didn't become a pastor after all that. When I finished there, ended up working in for the co-op, Leo's,
Wow.
and being, starting off basics, and ended up being one of the managers on the freezers and
Wow.
daily produce. Then fell in love, met a girl, fell in love, and I told her, well, I've been told I'm going to go blind when I'm 30 because I thought better tell, just in case. And I said, don't you worry, I just want your baby. Yeah, no, and fell in love and got married. We had a child, Shauna, and whoa, bit tired. What that specialist said. You'll be blind by the time you're 30. Guess what? 30. I'm reading the newspaper and all the print were all wibbly wobbly. I showed the paper to my friend. I said, what do you think of that? The print's terrible. He said, no, it's okay.
Wow.
And a couple of weeks later, I was blind. It was
Wow.
so ridiculous. Like, I thought when you get blind, it was like you turn the lights off. But mine was like this thick white fog closing in. And from the centre, it was like a spider's web growing. And a couple of weeks later, it just completely gone. It was like this big white veil that was impenetrable. So that was my blindness. But 30 years later, and it's not white anymore, and it's like 50 Shades of Grey. It's like a void, nothing there. But I use my mind's eye. I don't use these eyes. I see everything through there. So when I switch to eye mode, nothing. I want to switch back to my mind's eye. I start to see. But I did. So, I was in a predicament there, and as life has it, like the marriage ended, which happens a lot when people acquire disability, and don't blame the wife. It's because it's a tricky thing, isn't it? When your partner loses sight. And anyway, I got on with it, and I was home alone then, like a blind Macaulay Culkin, living off the face of the land.
Wow.
So I couldn't really cook when I could see, actually. So I had to learn to cook as a blind man. And I used to use the smoke alarm as the food timer. But I had to, it was 3 years of isolation, basically. Friends that, used to knock and that we have fun and have a laugh and go over the drink, stop knocking. Because humans were pretty cowardly when it comes to facing, like it's a fear factor. What do I say to him? He's lost his sight. Like if someone dies in the family and or a friend's mum and dad, and you don't like to, because it's awkward, isn't it? And that's what happened, and people stopped knocking, and so it was a very tough 3 years,
Wow.
through, and it was like wow, trying to. I wouldn't use a cane or nothing like that because I didn't want anyone to know I was blind. I was in complete denial. Well, I was nearly in Demacy, but no, in denial. And I was like, to try and get out of the house, I was like a trained white rat, feeling my way around and wheelie bins, headbutt lampposts, feeling the wall like a blind mouse on mouse. So, anyway, I tell everyone how I accepted being blind. And how I accepted being blind was not after 3 years of I've been knocked over twice by cars. Luckily, we're in the same car. I just foolishly, nothing could knock sense into me. I developed what's known as the denial blind man's shin, which is like your shin gets absolutely bruised and cut and banged to shreds, because you're walking into things. But that didn't knock sense into me. How I done it was this day going to I was going to my mum's. I used to feel the wall, the end of West Derby Road, turn left, 53 steps, and I'd be at the bus stop.
Wow.
Any bus, 4 stops, I'd be at my mum's. So I had it all planned out. I used to do it like it was like nerve wracking sometimes. But this day, as I'm going down there to the bus stop, feeling the wall, it was a summer's day. The kids on school holiday, and there's a load of little kids playing footy at the end of the street. Football. Coach for goalposts and all that. And 10-year-olds, and I was thinking, God, that was me years ago. I used to be like that playing footy, and as I'm going past them, feeling the wall like that, one of the kids comes running over. He goes, "Look over there, lads, there's Spider-Man." That kid would have been me. There's Spider-Man feeling the wall. I was laughing my head off because it was funny, and it was a bit dangerous, like, because I was laughing my head off that much, and then he fell off the wall. I was 3 stories high at the time. So anyway, came down from the wall empowered, saying, "Do you know what? Would I be more stupid using a cane or being called Spider-Man?" And I chose, this is day one of my new life. Let's get help here. So went to Christopher Grange, which is a rehabilitation centre, said, for blind people. Somebody just come out of prison, they don't like rehabilitation. Well, I had just come out of prison. It was like my house was in prison for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And I came out and I learned how to live as a blind man, basically. And I realised I wasn't alone. There's other blind people there. I wasn't the only blind man in the village. There's other people there, like me. I was the youngest, like, I wasn't back then. So I'd be like 33 now. And they were a lot older, some of the people there, because a lot of blindness comes through age related,
Right.
and such. So I realised, there's other people, and we all had our funny stories, and we use, humour is a good way, a good therapy, isn't it, and a good medicine. And there's a mixture of everyone there. There's butchers, bakers, candlestick makers, doctors, nurses, bimmen, firemen. We all had something in common. We'd all lost our sight.
Wow.
So, and it was like refreshing that there's other people, because no one helped me when I was, my mum and dad. But there's no like these charities, R&IB and all these never did anything, which is sad, but sad reflection at the times. But now, I've just set up my own charity to help people who are in situations like me. But I think that's in a nutshell the story. But when I was in Christopher Grange, this is where a strange thing happened. I learned, to live as a blind man again, learn prayer, learn all the how to make a cup of tea without scalding myself. And I had a dream. And I dreamt about Daisy. It was bizarre. This was like, in my dream, it was like there was little kids playing footy, like the ones who I used to know back in me Royal Waverley School for the Blind days. And, and there was the friends were there. There was kids in wheelchairs all playing games, and kids with autism. And it was bizarre dream, and it's so happy. Everyone was happy and laughing, and parents were all clapping and pointing at me. So that was like very, very weird dream. And Daisy was there, Daisy, Daisy.
Wow.
So when I woke up, I was like, what was that about? Because it was so vivid, the dream, and what was it all about? And I had this burning feeling in my stomach. I think it was a Vindaloo from the night before, but I thought, well, how do you live the dream? How do I turn that dream into reality? Just bizarre. And I realised, I was a blind scouser with no money, no education, no hope. I'd lost everything. But I had a dream, and I thought, well, journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first steps. So education. I had to learn, to learn again. I had to get that street cred wise, get some qualifications to go on my journey. So I went back to school from absolute basic, like maths, English, and a science.
Wow.
And I mean, absolute basics. I think I was doing the times tables. But working my way up, I went to college, and then I went to university. went to Manchester Metropolitan University, got all kinds of degrees there. Got two of them. I got like coaching and sports development management, coaching for the disabled. I've got like all kinds of higher management levels and leadership management. So I learned to learn at school. I was probably classed as probably below average because I never knew how to learn. And definitely, if I could diagnose myself now as a kid, I had probably ADHD, definitely, dyslexic, because
Wow.
I've never read a book in my life because I found it hard to read. But I know now why I was in that other class with all the, to the ones who couldn't read or do very good. And
Mm.
I tell people, the ones who were in that class, the ones who had like forgotten, a lot of them are millionaires now.
Yeah, I bet.
So, some of them are in prison, and some of them are in Spain. But they weren't taught, or the teachers didn't know how to teach them. But
Yeah, yeah.
they had a brain. They just didn't. The teachers didn't know how to get it out of us. Or how to tune into us. I say now anyway. They don't learn the way we teach. We must teach the way they learn. Tune in
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
learn
yeah.
that. It's like um, my class of 1981 and that. 1978 it'll be from Anfield Comp, the school. Yeah, remember men and the boys were terrified, and yeah, don't. A lot of the lads have done very well for themselves, despite the
Mm.
lack of education and that. But I think we had the I suppose entrepreneurs are born, not really created, and through adversity comes people who can adapt to the situation. That's probably what happened to me. How I set up Daisy and so Daisy become like an amazing charity. I'm so proud of it because we won loads and loads of awards. Said I was told one of the biggest was like a worldwide award for diversity and inclusion. I was like,
Wow.
I'm thinking, how the hell, what's going on? But it's funny that one because we've been nominated for it, and we had to go to London for the awards. Don't know if we won or anything like that, and then so we goes down there, and it was in this like big hotel place. There was like all kinds of dignitaries there. It's 2016 actually, and Boris Johnson was the Lord Mayor, and he was there, and David Cameron, and all these famous
Wow.
people, and there's loads there anyway. And it's funny because we got off at the wrong place, typical me. So we had to do this 5 mile hike to the place, and I got a phone call, and it was the people who were running the event. They said, "Oh yeah," I said, well, "Stop without me. What do you want me for? Just stop." I thought I was just there to be in the crowd. No, no, no. Wait, how long? How long is it going to take? I said, I don't know. Anyway, a couple of phone calls later, they're still panicking. Where are you? And I said to my colleague John, I said, Blimey, I just told them to start without us. So when we got there, anyway, eventually, they're like, hey, and coats off and sweating and we're exhausted. And then within like 5 minutes, they had to do the result because we were like, half an hour late. The winners of the Diversity and Inclusion Award goes to Dave Kelly, Daisy, Inclusive UK.
Oh,
It's
wow. How
weird.
lovely.
This was a huge award. It was like a worldwide award. It was like, oh. So I had to give a this big speech and all that. And it was like, at the time, there was all like, I said, famous people there. They're all laughing and joking, and it was great. I think the French rugby union captain was there because it was like the World Cup. The Rugby World Cup was there, and they were all there, and they were honestly, it was like a who's who of famous people.
Can
So,
imagine.
yeah, so it's good anyway. That was good. So that's
So,
and
so, so so in terms of, so what keeps you going though, Dave, when times get tough? And I can imagine they have, those first 3 years. So what keeps you going? Where's your inner
yeah,
fire that keeps Dave going? Come on, we've got, I get the dream, in Daisy, but
yeah.
what keeps you going, mate?
The old self-preservation, isn't it? Well, I think, yeah. Well, I had a daughter at the time, and I thought, well, there was the dark times, and
Yeah.
you think life's unbearable, and you do this is the dark. So these are the dark places we're talking about here, where people can get through and to, and it's a horrible place to be. And I just like, as I said, I had my dream, and I just like swung back into, that bounce back ability. And I thought, you know what, I want to do something with my life. I haven't gone blind for, because of this dreadful retinitis pigmentosa genetic malfunction. And I said, maybe I've gone blind for a reason. I'm not particularly religious. I'm not particularly, thinking of superior beings and that. But then I realized, well, there must be something out there that that kind of guided me, because when I had the dream and I went on my journey to set up Daisy, every door opened. I made the right decision, and everything I did, I soon developed this quest for knowledge. I had this like brain that could solve problems, and I didn't take no for an answer. It's so difficult. I got no sight at all. Said just I'm blinded and Bobby blind from Blindsville, me. And he was blinded. Boom. So I had to be, 10 times as good as the sighted person, even to get on the shirt tails of people.
Yeah.
And I had my dream. I had Daisy, and I was trying to build Daisy up, and I was knocking on doors. I was talking to people, networking as you do. You set up your own business, and then charity, and so that was a difficult time trying to come through. But that belief in yourself that you're here for a reason. I wanted to leave my footprint in the sands after I'm well gone. And it was that, sadly, I'd lost me. My dad had passed away, and it was that was a terrible time. And I thought, there's got to be a reason for all this, basically, and that energy from within, that that spark that kept alive, even though I was, flickering away at one time during those 3 years, and it reignited, and I just had a clear path in what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. So it was like where I was then, where I wanted to go, and how to get there. And it was just like a belief, and never.
Brilliant.
Well, I've got a little what's it? Never let the bees get you down. If you know what
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in terms of your advice to young people, whether they're sighted or non-sighted or partially sighted, what advice do you give other people?
Well, I gave be happy who you are, be happy in your own skin.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. And believe to achieve. You just have targets, raise the bar, and don't let people say you can't do. Because there's nothing worse than you lose your sight, or you lose the ability to walk, or whatever. And when people say you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't. Well, I said no. Let's turn this on its head and say, let's take the dis out of disability, focus on ability, and let's do can do. That's why Daisy is the can do. It's like positive affirmations. It's all, when people come to Daisy, it's a big smile. It's like a happy place, even though people have some of the most complex needs, some of the most harrowing stories. But you know what? After a couple of weeks in Daisy, they're smiling again, gives them hope, gives them a pathway to hit the target, score the goals, and reach their potential with a big smile on the face. Nothing better than making someone smile to me. It's like my energy comes from people and family who we help, and they start to smile again, and that creates positive energy that attracts good people. And but you've got to fix themselves. I have to fix myself, and other people have to fix themselves as well. You can give them the tools and the knowledge, the wisdom. You can give them the place to do it in. You give them the tool, but at the end of the day, they've got to take it on board, take that deep breath, and go, yeah, you know what, yeah, no more misery, no more pain, no more. Let's go for it. And no one's ever been made poorer through giving, and that's what I say to people. Just everyone give a bit. Don't mean money and things, but give a little bit of help, bit of support, pat on the back, and hug. Yeah, I think Daisy is one of the few places where people do hug. And it was tough during the pandemic because you're not supposed to hug and meetings and that. But it was heart wrenching, during the pandemic, because I said, you know what, we're not closing. I found every loophole, to stay open, whereas some people found every loophole to close. I thought, well, as I said, as vulnerable, disabled people,
Mm.
who's going to be there for them? Who will be there?
Mm.
And honestly, it was like decisions. I got some fantastic staff, and we decided to stay on where we adapted a bit. We started to do like food parcels and necessities that they needed. Stay in touch. We had the doors open to do face to face if they wished, to do face to face. We had online stuff as well, by the way, but not better than human contact. But
Yeah.
abiding by all of the rules, bending them as much as we can, so we could still stay open. And I got COVID-19 basically as well,
Mm.
and I thought, well, it's definitely not my time to go. I've got too much to do. But I went in early. I think I kissed the devil's backside during those 6 weeks of I was definitely on my way out, but I refused. I don't know. I had too much to do. Honestly, it was that determination and my
Oh, yeah.
willpower, stability. I come through it, and I didn't want anyone to know how ill I was, because I didn't want to, put people, make people down a bit, feel sad.
Yes.
I hate pity, but yeah, come through, and we helped so many people during that pandemic. The community, Everton, the Anfield area where we're based, amazing. There was people whose businesses were closed. The hairdresser, Paula there, from Sister Smith's. She and the family, used to come round, pack the bags, take food parcels down to families who couldn't get out of the house.
Oh,
And we had Liverpool Football Club with brilliance. There's so many amazing people. It was like
mm.
camaraderie at its best, communities coming together, and it just it put your faith back into humanity. That so many people did amazing things. Ex-Liverpool football players, Chris Kirkland, the ex-goalie, he was amazing.
Wow.
He was like, imagine someone knocking on the door. This is 6'7" Chris Kirkland with a food for you. You'd be, oh my god! I'd have been, well. You know what? I'm so proud of everyone, the community, and I think that's what Daisy's all about. It's about being able to adapt like that, instead of just like, let's crawl under the stone and hide till it's over. No. And we got loads of feedback from families saying it saved their lives. Now, how
Oh, I
biggest
love it.
that said, when someone says, actually, you saved our lives, and I was like, whoa. And I humbly just, say, well, no, well, you saved your own life because you didn't
Yeah.
give in, and with a bit of luck, you came to us and we were able to help. But yeah, so we could all hold our head up high and say, well, we did our bit there. But the after effects of the pandemic, said it's been like, I've read something called FOGO, fear of going out, and mental health. Honestly, it's been, whoa, there's a lot of people who still, even to this day, I find it hard to set foot
Yeah.
out, because we were kind of said, if you go out, you'll die, and the fear that was drummed into people. It was tough, like, for them. So we're not just Daisy, but like all over the country, people are still dealing with the effects of the lockdown and the mental health issues that
Yeah.
come from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's the legacy that you'd love to leave behind? I mean, you do incredible work, I know, and it is amazing, when people say, thanks to you, saved my life, and because that's huge. I mean, isn't it?
That's
I mean, that's,
huge.
that's like the biggest thing. But what's the legacy that you would like, to leave
Yeah.
behind others?
Well, I think that legacy is like, the footprints in the sands of time, long after you're gone, and it's not like some kind of, oh, look what I've done. It's nothing to do with that. It's about, um, having, like, Daisy around different parts of, over Merseyside, which we are, and then maybe being told, can we put this template around the country, because it's a lovely little strategy we've got in Daisy. So, like, point of contact or resolution. It's like It's links in the daisy chain. It's from,
Oh, I
sports,
love it.
education, employment. We're the first charity to have our very own disability hate crime officers and working with Merseyside Police and the Police Crime Commissioner. Because disability hate crime, who on earth would,
Yeah,
pick on, bully, hate, torment people who are disabled? But unfortunately,
incredible.
so we're the first to do that. So I want that to continue and help, victims of disability hate crime. But I'm a proactive person rather than reactive. I want to be, well, how do you stop, people's ignorance towards minority groups, race,
Mm,
sexuality, disability, whatever it is? Well, education, isn't it? Windows of opportunity, get into
it
school,
is.
and it's got to be part of the curriculum, not like, once a year, do a
Yeah,
virtue singing token of, this is disability or this is hate crime, this is sexual. No, it's got to be part of the curriculum that, if you do one group, one year group, well, they grow up and leave. We do change people's mindsets, stereotypical thoughts they have, but the next year groups come up, and it's got to be part, of a you know structure in schools, so it's not like a token that'll do tick box exercise. So I want
yeah,
that to continue, and I want disability to be, people to give the opportunities to disabled people.
brilliant.
It's untapped potential. Give them jobs.
It is.
I don't mean, jobs packing boxes or, which is still a good job if that's what. But if you've got the potential and you're a disabled person to become a manager of whatever, let them be given that opportunity. Not
Yeah,
like,
certainly.
stereotypical presumptions that you can only do that. But I got sent for the job after I lost my sight, said, and it was like, was a piano tuner, because that's what blind people do. We tune pianos. Oh,
Wow.
I can't play the piano, I'm going to clue about that. Or basket weaving, because we
Wow.
weave baskets. And I thought,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
sad. I mean, great if that's what you want to do. Don't get me wrong, it's great. But if you've got the potential to express yourself in other ways,
Yes.
you need to be given that. So that's what I'd like to leave behind, is giving people opportunities and hope and a big smile on the face, because you realise, just because you're disabled doesn't mean it's the end of your world and your life. It's the beginning of your new life. And get that smile back on your face without medication.
Oh, how lovely is that? And in terms of, if I was to ask you what one word you'd use to describe yourself, what would that be?
Um, I'd probably say, I'd say an optimist.
Optimist.
Yeah, I always see the good things, and I'm always hopeful of the positives in humanity and society.
Oh, lovely.
Ah, and then, can you see that? That's me. So you know what? As a kid, I've never read a book in my life, but I ended up writing
Wow.
a book. So this is how you can turn your life round. And I got asked to do a book many years ago. I thought, well, I've got nothing to write. Well, do you know what? Probably after the pandemic, I realized, well, just before and during the pandemic, I realized I have got
Mm.
something to write about. So I put it in this book, and it said, hopefully give people who are going through hard times, like, a way forward, that there is hope out there, and you got to believe in yourself, be happy in your own skin, happy who you are, and look at the positive sides and get the right help. But it doesn't come to you easy. You have got to
Yeah.
battle and, make it work, and that should be behind. There's that side there. That's it's a bit of me, that, isn't it? Well, that's me with my mind's eye. Or should I be less? Or is it that way? Don't can't see. I'm blind. But then, so that's the one.
I love your approach. And if you were to compare and contrast, your first 30 years, of being sighted,
Mm-hmm.
and then the last, of many years of being unsighted, is it? I mean, what's the difference? I mean, is your life richer now? Or is it just different?
Sid, I see more now than I ever did as the sighted
Wow,
day, and this is the
wow,
bizarre thing.
wow,
My mind's like, I can see you now. I've never seen you, but I can picture you now.
wow.
You're a handsome looking man, and you're there, and I
Wow.
see everything, and I think in vision, I think in,
Wow.
colours. And so, although those eyes don't work, said, that's just a grey void. This one is colourful rainbows and happiness.
Wow.
I'm a very happy chappy, and without the use of any chemicals or tablets to make me feel happy. My,
Wow.
my my drug is life. My drug is, medicine is making people smile and happy and doing good things for them. I know it sounds really cheesy and then, yeah, but yeah, I'm not a saint. I'm not an angel. I'm just a blind man with a vision who wants to help people and take them to a better place and give them hope. Mm.
Thank you.